Hi, welcome to another reading vlog. I don't like starting vlogs already lying down, but we're here. We're queer and we're doing it. I am Zit City today. Don't know why. And I'm gonna use you right now to bully me into reading, because it's 10 p.m. Monday night. I've read 200 pages of my audiobook today, which is this one, Stronger Than a Bronze Dragon. So I'm like almost done with this. I don't know whether it's the fact that I'm playing The Sims while listening to my audiobook, or whether it's was just for the first maybe half hard to follow. But I didn't understand what was going on the whole first half of the book. I walked the dog while listening, I played Sims, and I was getting bits, but I couldn't figure out how they all worked together in my head. Like, yes, I was distracted to some extent, but like other audiobooks have kept my attention enough while doing multitasking to not. I don't know. I was having a hard time with it. I think it's now that I've figured out what's going on to some extent, I'm finding it interesting, but it took so long to get to any level of anything I understood. I was on the verge of DNFing it for a while, and then I was like, no, I'll just hold out. I'll just give it a give it its due diligence, fuck, and give it a chance. And I am enjoying the latter half a lot more than I enjoyed the first half. But yeah, the first half was just struggle town for me, struggle town. And then my physical read is The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid, which I'm really enjoying the actual book. Can I tell you though, I've talked about this on my Twitter, I've talked about it in lives, I've talked about it quite a bit, the amount of undue stress that occurs in my brain when a book has a stiff spine. And I'm talking like, this is like so stiff. You can see there, like, I'm not using gravity to help me. That is like, it's holding itself together, and I've broken the whole spine to try and help the issue. But my god, does my brain have a hard time reading a book with a stiff spine. I don't know why. I don't know if it's that I can't get comfortable or what, but I just struggle. Like, I can read a page really fast, and I get to the end, and the process of turning the page is like an exhaustive feat I can't get over. And like, it makes it really hard to pick up. I don't understand. I experience this every time I read a book that's very stiff, like this one. And to the point that if I buy a book, like if I order a book online and it comes and it's a stiff paperback, I'm like, fuck. Because I know it's going to be a hard time. So that being said, I'm struggling through this. I am, but not because the book is bad. I'm loving the book. I think it's beautiful and thought-provoking. I'm waiting to see how the plot kind of ramps up, because it's pretty slow, but not slow enough that that's the thing holding me back. It's just that it's stiff. Folks, insert innuendo here. I'm on page 100. I'm using you to bully me right now into getting back to work on it, because I just took a YouTube break because I couldn't bear to be turning pages. And I'm going to try and read at least another 50 pages. I want to try and read another 100 pages. I don't think it's going to happen before I get too tired, but I'm going to try and finish this tomorrow regardless. Whoop whoop, I am behind. My 365 pages for today would be here. And I am here. And I've read all of this today. And that's all I've read physically today. I'm not getting up to my goal point today, but you know what, sometimes this shit happens, and there is a lot of stuff on my Shibuya that is fast paced, and I'll be able to move through quickly, and I just have to acknowledge that I've read 2 heavy fantasy books in a row, and I had 3 days of not being able to do anything. Like, reading 150 pages is still really good progress. I need to give myself a break. I know that I will have more opportunity. Like, my very next read after this is a graphic novel, and that's gonna speed me through some pages fast. Like, I need to give myself a break. But yay. Yeah, so this was 3 stars. It's Tuesday lunchtime. I just finished listening to this while I played Sims. Yeah, I didn't there were some bits I liked, I thought were interesting. I had a really hard time connecting with it initially, which I already talked about, and then the ending was just kind of not anticlimactic. Again, I just had a hard time getting invested. I don't know. I don't know. But it is done. I gave it 3 stars, and I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Didn't hate it. I'm about to switch back over to The Wolf and the Woodsman and try and make some good progress on this before I have work this afternoon. Because that would be useful. Because my ultimate goal for today, which I don't know if I'll actually achieve, but we're going to try and finish this, but also read Descender Volume 1 today. But I do have work for like 4 hours, so I don't know if it'll actually happen. But we're gonna try. Yeah, that's where we're at. So the update. I don't have much to say about Stronger Than a Bronze Dragon, so it's a bit of a moot update, but I am really enjoying Wolf and the Woodsman. I'm still waiting to see how the plot's going to twist and develop, because I'm like not even halfway through. And there's a lot to happen, so I'm intrigued. It is Wednesday afternoon. I've spent like 3 hours cleaning out where my rabbits live, because it's been a bit of a mess as I was finishing up my thesis. And I totally rearranged the room. It was carpeted with carpet squares, and we pulled them all out, by which I mean I pulled them all out. Totally swept and cleaned and got it looking spick and span, and I am knackered. I did listen to a bit of a Far Love Story while doing that, but there was a point where I just paused it to chat to Jessie about one of the components of what I was doing. I forgot to turn it back on, so I'm not sure how much I've actually listened to. I think I'm like 3 hours in, but it's on BorrowBox, so it's a bit hard for me to tell. Hang on, let me look properly. Let's see if I can tell. Yeah, so I've listened to about 3 hours today. I'll probably listen to another hour at some point, which will get me at like my goal for that. So that's not too bad. I'm about to go get a paddle pop. Actually, let's just do that now. Paddle pops might be a thing that like non-Australians have no idea what I'm talking about, but the sweet treat of the summer. I'm sure Americans have, what is it on my foot? Have a similar sweet treat from the freezer. You just probably call it something different. It's a chocolate ice cream on a stick. It's not that complicated. But after doing all that work, I just feel like I need a sugary treat, and I'm gonna scroll TikTok while I eat my sugary treat. And then I'm gonna dive in and finish The Wolf and the Woodsman. I'm about 50 pages from the end. I was trying to finish it last night, it just didn't happen. But I am gonna finish it now. Hey! And then read Descender Volume 1. And then try and do both of that before dinner. And then after dinner, I'm going to try and read like 200 pages of A Dark and Hollow Star. Is my goal. I needed to do it. It was a chore that needed doing, but fuck. It took me a while. I still have to clean some of the carpet squares. But I'm going to soak them a la deep cleaning. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to use the bath or something else. I need to buy new plugs regardless. I'm going to see if I'll do them in batches in the trough, or whether I should do them like more at once in the bath. Not sure yet. We'll see. I laid out new tarps and on top of the concrete in there, and put brand new kitty litter out, and immediately Trixie, my chaos cat, sprayed all over the tarp. She loves me, but I've cleaned it up. She was just mad I'd locked her up while I did it, because it was I had the door open and stuff to the outside, and they're indoor cats. Anyway, I'm gonna go watch TikTok for like 2 minutes while I eat this, and then I'll tell you once I finish The Wolf and the Woodsman what I ended up thinking of it. I'm really enjoying it so far, but I'm a bit scared because I feel like he could wrap up too conveniently. So we'll see my final thoughts on the ending. Next clip. Hi, it's been a while, a few days, I don't know, a while. When did I have no idea when I last updated you. My face is disgusting. It just really said, I hate you. So there's that. I'm about 60% through A Far Love Story. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really cute and it's a really good audiobook. It's just good. Like, it's a really solid YA contemporary. It's a really solid contemporary with a, like, the kind of plot line is a combo of, like, the two main characters are from rival far shops. Yeah, I mean, I'm still filming. Hi. So we follow two teens whose parents own rival far stores, like, across the road from each other, and they're in competition and they're not meant to talk to each other because that would be, like, absolutely not heard of. So it's kind of like, it's not a Romeo and Juliet every time, but it's kind of got like that, like, cute little rivals vibe. The other kind of line is like finding your own destiny, what you want to do in life, and they're both kind of right at that stage where they're trying to make decisions about their future and not knowing what to do, but also a little bit of a romance. But the romance is really sweet and gentle and, like, building slowly. I like it. On the other hand, the other thing I'm reading, I'm gonna try and finish A Far Love Story today. I was gonna try and finish it yesterday, didn't happen. Yesterday kind of slammed me with work by accident. I was like, yeah, I have so much time to read, and then I ended up in a few unplanned Zoom meetings and it just didn't happen. The thing I'm physically reading at the moment is A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. This is a this was in the YA section at Dimex, but I'm pretty confident it's solidly in the new adult category. I'm at page 150. I'm trying to finish this today as well. It's interesting. It's so far been a lot of world building because it's a, like, urban fantasy fae world where they're kind of like living in cities and how the two interconnect. It's interesting, but it's been a lot of world building. The overall plot is about some murders happening in the fairy world, but we follow a lot of different characters and how they all intersect, so it's a bit complicated, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's a good ride. I'm liking all the characters. It's interesting. I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see how it all plays out. But yeah, I definitely think it's on the upper end of, like, new adult. The characters are all, like, 18 and it's kind of like transition to college era, but in the context of faith. You know, I'm having a good time with it. I'm about to dive into this with a bit more renewed energy this morning, and I'll also take some time out to listen to the audiobook while cooking dinner, playing Sims, cleaning the house, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I've done my one work thing I had to do for today, and the rest of the day is just for me. Yeah. I do have a coffee date this afternoon, but that will not take hours. And I'll go to the bookstore and the library while I'm out because everything's been shut for the past couple of weeks with the current lockdown in our area, and that we're only doing click and collect. And that was just, like, too much hassle for me to actually go to the library, but I have some things to drop off and things to pick up. And I know there's a few things at the bookstore that I was like, oh, it wasn't one of my pre-orders, so I'm not going to go do the click and collect, but when they open again, I will go get it. I was going to, like, bundle it up when I had a order to click and collect if we were still in lockdown, but seeing as we're out and we're going for afternoon tea, coffee date around there anyway, I'm just going to go in. Anyway, I'm going to get reading and hopefully have a good time. I didn't read as much. Hi, it's Saturday morning. I didn't read as much last night as I'd hoped to, or yesterday. I ended up having a really good day, but not a good reading day because my friend and I went for coffee because we're finally allowed to, like, attend a cafe, and so we had a nice long chat. It was great, but that meant that I didn't get home at like reasonable hour to do any reading before cooking dinner. And then I, after dinner, tried to read for a bit, and it was just so slow going. My brain didn't want to focus, so I gave up. I read 150 physical pages, which is not like that bad, but could have been better. And I'm gonna try and finish today A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. I do have work this afternoon. I have some things I have to do, but hopefully we can get this finished and get a good start on As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. I've blanked. The audiobook I'm gonna start today is Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q Sutanto. I'm very excited about it. Oh, Jessie Sutanto? I can't remember if there's an I or not. It's a Filipino, if I'm remembering correctly, cozy mystery where something happens and her aunts get ready to kill the guy who broke her heart or something. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, I'm gonna physical read at the moment. I do also need to edit my whole my wrap up today, which I don't want to because it seems like it's gonna be really time consuming, but I have to do it. Yeah, basically I have a lot to do. The first of which is read a lot, but so I am back from work. I have been for a couple of hours. I'm trying to get focused and read this, but it's just not going great. I started listening to, while I went to the supermarket stuff, and I'm going to continue while I make dinner. I started listening to Dial A for Aunties in proper effort. What is this? Oh, I need to wash my hair tomorrow. I should have done it yesterday, but I couldn't be bothered. Dial A for Aunties is not about a Filipino girl. Corrected. She is Chinese Indonesian and living in America, and the author is Chinese Indonesian living in Singapore or Indonesia. I can't quite remember. There was a little discussion about it at the start of the book, but the plot and premise is basically her family have a curse on them that all the men leave or die, and they moved to America it was die, and they moved to America, and it kind of got reduced to leave without a trace. And her mum is trying to get her set her up with a guy in like semi-stereotypical Asian mom fashion, and she ends up like pretending to be the main character, Medi, on a dating website, and arranges a blind date with this guy. And it's only blind for Medi, the main character, not for the guy, because he thinks he's been flirting with her online for like a few weeks. But he's a bit of a creep, and he is really pushy, and is trying to get action from her that she doesn't want to give. He kind of drives her down a dark alley, and she tases him and passes out, and when she wakes up he's dead. And so now her mum and her aunties are figuring out what to do, and there's like a second chance romance in the background, but also like them trying to hide the body and stuff. It's so funny. The family all own like a combined wedding business. Like one auntie makes cakes, one auntie does hair, her mum does flower arrangements, and her other auntie does like the singing and stuff at weddings. And she does photography, and so that's kind of like the business backdrop. And I think her ex is going to come into play because he owns the hotel the wedding they're doing is going to, at the point of the book, is going to be at. So I think there's going to be some like comedy of errors, second chance romance stuff going on. But yeah, she killed a guy. And that's the start of the romance. I'm loving it so far. I'm like 25% through, and I'm going to keep listening while I cook dinner, but for now I'm going to try and get a great chunk of the way through this. I think later tonight I might do a face mask, see if it helps with some of this. Yeah, well, I did it. This is why I don't wear face masks very often, because I can't see without my glasses. I am like blind. And they look so dumb with glasses on. And then you have to clean the glasses. But anyway, let's see if this charcoal mask will like draw impurities out of all this acne or something. I don't know. It might not do shit, but hi, good morning. It's Sunday morning. I did finish a Dark and Hollow Star last night with my face mask on. I'm giving it a 4-star on Goodreads, but really that's a little bit rounded up. I think it's a 3.75. My biggest problem with this book is not the plot. I thought the plot was fun. It's not the characters. I thought the characters were fun. The world was interesting. My problem was all around timing of reveals. And for me, this book felt like, because the world building was so big, like there was a lot of world to build, I didn't feel like I could predict anything. There were like, either there was dramatic irony happening and you already knew what was going on, which happened a bit, which is fine. Like, I don't mind a good bit of dramatic irony. Or the reveal was something you couldn't have known because the world building for that hadn't happened yet. And that just kind of left things a bit dull. I feel like I knew I couldn't figure out clues because I didn't have the whole picture, because the world building was consistently happening throughout the whole book. And I'm interested to see in book 2 if that kind of settles in. You can start predicting things based on the knowledge you've gained in book 1, because it's like a 500-page book full of world building. So I'm hoping that by the time we get to book 2, a lot of that world building will have happened already, and it will get to the point of the action a lot faster. Like, it won't have these longer scenes of exposition and just experiencing the world. Like, a lot of it was our main characters experiencing the world so you could learn more about it. It just kind of felt a little bit slow in that regard. And yeah, the reveals didn't feel fulfilling because I couldn't have guessed them because I didn't know the information yet. And it's not like it was something that could have been predicted to be world building. It was like whole new parts of the system and stuff, and the system's complicated, so I think there's maybe just a bit too ambitious in the world building to pull it off as a single book. So I'm hopeful that the next book will be less world building heavy, because we will have already done a lot of that initial world building, and will hopefully be better at like getting to the point of the action in that same breath. So it's like a 3.75 rounded up to a 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I liked the characters. I liked the world. I thought it was all interesting. To me, this felt like if you like the plot, world, characters of something like an urban adult fantasy where a romance is an element, like Crescent City. This had big Crescent City vibes, but like take away the romance as a heavy factor. The romance is like minor. It's sapphic, but it's so minor. It's like your ultimate urban fantasy romance plotline, sans the romance. And I thought that was actually handled really great and really interesting and like well developed, because you don't see that style of world building and drama outside of urban fantasy romance very often, and I thought that was really well done. So it's in the YA category, I feel like, only because there's not a heavy focus on romance. Like, there's like one kiss and one other angsty pairing that aren't even like together, and so I think it ended up YA just because it doesn't have sex or like heavy romance. Otherwise it would be very comfortable in an adult section. So I would have called it adult, but like your people who don't like romance's dream. So yeah, there were things I really loved about it. I am probably going to read book 2 just to see how it balances, but it's going to be like a 4 or 5 book series. And if book 2 is the same, where all the reveals are world building and I can't join the fun of the mystery, I probably won't continue, because that's kind of like my favorite bit about mysteries. Anyway, something additionally mystery that's my next read is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is also a chunker. It's 550 pages, of which I read 40 last night. this is a fast-paced read, or the first two in this series are, so I'm gonna be brave and try and say I'm gonna finish this today and just slam through the whole thing. If I was listening to this on audiobook, which I was going to do, then I listened to the narrator. Quickly changed my mind. I could read this and the next book, A Chorus Rises, today if I tried hard. But I didn't listen to book 1 or 2 of this along with the audiobook, and so I have like how I picture her voice in my head, kind of. I'm not a very visual person, but like, she's a teenager in England, and I know I probably, like, English and Australian culture is closer than English and American culture, not that they're the same, but I don't imagine her as particularly British. She feels kind of like happily in an Australian context in my head also, and she's a teenager, like 18 and 17 maybe. I think she might be 18 by the point of this book. The narrator felt like a posh, I think just based on that, I don't know what exact area of England the accent is. I'm not familiar enough with that. But it felt posh public school, which she's not. Like, boarding school, 45-year-old woman. I just couldn't get behind it. I listened to like half a chapter and then I turned it off. I was like, no, that's not happening. But I'm going to try and read this as fast as I can while still like enjoying it. And I want to try and get through all of it today. It's going to be interesting, because I also would love to do the same. Like, I've listened to the audiobook for the first book in this series and enjoyed it, so I'll be listening to this reading this along with the audiobook, but I want to also do that today if we can. So this before dinner time, so then I can do this after dinner. We'll try. So I just finished reading As Good as Dead. So I read like 500 pages of this today, and it's only not even 9 o'clock. This was amazing. It took a dramatic turn about midway, and I was hooked from like maybe 100 pages in when things started to really like get creepy. It was just so intriguing, and yeah, the twist midway that changed everything really slammed me, and I loved it. Yeah, so 5 stars for this. Holly Jackson better keep writing mystery books, because if this is her last one ever, I will cry. This was amazing. So until I go to bed, I'm gonna now start on A Chorus Rises. It took me like an hour longer than I'd hoped to get through this, so I don't think I'll be able to finish this tonight, but we're gonna try and get like a decent chunk through it. Let's see how we go. I'm gonna be listening along with the audiobook, and hopefully it is as good as book 1, because book 1 was really good. So let's dive into A Chorus Rises. Wait till I'm dressed and shit before I wrap this vlog up, but I can't be bothered. Today's kind of a busy day. I ended up, was I talking about starting this last night? I got like 50 pages through before my brain like refused. So I'm at page 52. I'm gonna finish this today, no problemo. I'm also gonna try and finish my audiobook today. We'll see how that goes. I'd also love to get through basically all of the Marrow Thieves today. That would be great, but I don't know if that's actually gonna happen. My camera's about to die any second, but yeah, that's where we're at. I don't have a nice like ending to this vlog. We read quite a bit this week. I'm pretty proud of myself. Even though, and like yesterday especially, I got so much read. I'm not back on track by any means, but like it gets me closer to there. And yeah, I guess thanks for watching this vlog. I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye from Monday.